Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the ConnecTree Podcast. How are you doing? I hope you're doing amazingly well. So today we're back again with finding passions. So we have six of us. We have Nitin, Asna, Alan, Hajara, Azhar, and Rizwan. So let's get started about passions, right? So where do we get started?
Hmm. What's passion? Oh, is that a good question?
Okay, so I think I'll just. I think that's a good question to start. Maybe how do you find your passion? Because we talk a lot about passions, right? So where do we start with passions? Because I think most of us are, we say like we're passionate about so many things. We want to pursue our passions and all that. So how do we find what is our passion?
Or is the right question, how do we define something as passion and then kind of
Maybe, yeah.
that could be a good better start, no? And what do you guys think? I
You
mean,
can start off, Alan.
it's I'm not sure exactly about how I would describe something or how something becomes a passion. It's like all like very like vague, I guess. In the beginning, like something passion is something that we hold close to your heart, something that we want to pursue, something that we really love. So and want to make something, make it in that field or that specific area. uh, Passion is something that drives your mind and makes you happy while doing it. All these vague ideas are mostly associated with passion, right? What is it? What do you think? No? Hmm? I mean,
Yeah, kind of. But for me, passion is something which brings happiness. Doing something uh, very, maybe very happy thing to do. Uh,
hmm.
that defines passion for me. And what about you guys? Okay, I want to add one more thing to that question. Is it necessary to have only one passion at a time, or else is it very normal to change passion according to the phases?
Kind of.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, Hajara, go on. That's a good question.
Yeah,
Okay.
passion to me, so I think that will answer both the questions. Passion, if you ask me to define, is something that makes life worth living. Like, if you feel that next moment you want to live, then that's what is your passion. So, to make life worth living, it's not one thing, right? We'll need a lot of things to make life worth living. I think all of that are things that we are passionate about. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think for me, what is passion is basically I she said it as like what makes you live. For me, I like what I had in my mind is like those are instincts, intuitions, and your calling. Basically, what your passion like what your passions are. And I think for the question that Azhar asked as well, your calling, your instincts, and intuitions are not the same at every point of time. It changes as well. So I think it changes and it should change as well, because if it is not changing, that means that you're always at the same space. There is nothing changing, it's constant. And I think, except that, that maybe like I think it's like an utopian dystopian kind of a scenario where nothing is changing, but realistically everything changes, and I think your passions also should change as well, and it's a good thing.
Yeah. It should grow, I guess, with time. As we grow, passion should also grow. I mean, something that we are so passionate about at some point in our life, should evolve. If not, then I think we're not exactly properly working on it. Because the goal that we set at a certain time, it's
Hmm.
gonna grow with time, just as much as we grow, because we are also growing. Our outlook towards it is gonna grow. So it is also important to kind of take care of it, kind of evolve your passion and kind of grow with it. If because this is also a thing, right? See, you find something you're really passionate about, but you're growing a little bit away from it, and you're like, oh, I had this goal, I had this thing, I was so passionate about it, I'm not able to reach this. Then that overthinking sets in, then the expectations, the not meeting expectations and all that. So I think what Rizwan said is important, and I think passion changes and
And
passion should change.
And also I think there is no particular age to find passion. Maybe I know a lot of people find passion at at their retirement age, after working for a company for a long period of time, and after that uh, they figure out something to do in their retirement life, and they tell that it's my passion, but I am not doing for last this much of years, but I am right now I am pursuing my passion, traveling or planting. There is a lot of things they are doing. uh, Maybe either there is no particular age, but if you can find your passion at very young age and you can work on that particular thing, and if you have a habit of working out for that particular thing, no, it will brings a lot of happiness into our life. That's what I think about finding passion. Rather than finding passion, it's very important thing to do is pursuing that passion. Maybe you know your passion, but you are not pursuing that passion, there is no use of finding passion.
Okay, so I think to make that question even like that part even simpler, how do you find passions? Like how to find passion, like or how do you understand what are you passionate about? I think I think most of the cases it's again an inner feeling that you have, but apparently out of
Yeah.
that, what are the methods that or how have you found your passions or your interest to which you want to pursue on?
For me, if you are doing a thing continuously, but you are not getting bored about that particular thing, and also at the same time you are getting happy doing it more, and you are very excited to take that particular thing to the next level. You want to explore more. If the feeling of getting exploring more in that particular thing, no, that defines that you are interested in this particular thing. And and it doesn't make me tired of doing a lot of time, or if it consumes a lot of time from your life, if you are not getting tired of that particular thing, I think you are very passionate about that particular thing.
I mean, I I mean, finding your passion is such a, like, everybody asks you to find something you're very passionate about. And I think it comes with a lot of self exploration and self discovery and awareness. And as Asar said, you do a lot of things, you explore some things, and you find out that there are some things that you enjoy doing and some things you would rather not. And finding your passion is like a trial and error thing, I think. I don't think anyone will be able to like suddenly be like, oh, this is my passion, I'm going to do. It takes up a lot of time. You need to put effort in, you need to try some things. Some things might not work out for you. It'll be the worst case scenario for you. Then you move on, then you try something else, and slowly you find something that you really enjoy, that brings out the inner child in you maybe, and feels very content. And then you want to make that your life. You'll probably find that feeling. It's a vague idea, but probably at some point you will find that feeling. And
As
that,
Alan said,
yeah.
there should be an excitement factor associated while doing that particular thing. If you're not getting that particular excitement associated that particular thing, that excitement is a drive that you're getting to pursue passion more and more and more. And also if you're pursuing a particular thing for a long period of time and you're getting bored of that thing, then that you are calling for that particular thing is gonna end over there,
Hmm.
and you have to pursue new thing, and you have to. Oh, there is something that when filmmakers used to say that I used to work on different kind of ideas. I used to break the zone that I'm in, because or else if he or she is continuously doing for that particular thing for a long period of time, they will eventually get bored of that particular zone. So we have to reinvent your passion. Maybe not the entire idea of that particular thing, but you have to take that thing into next level. Only if you're doing that, you are getting that excitement factor. You can keep up that excitement throughout the journey.
I think I'll just add to what just Azhar said. So yesterday, after I did something that I'm really passionate about, the first thought I had in the night was, "Damn, I'm really tired, but I wish every day was like this." So that's one thing that actually lets you know that if you're passionate about that or not. Like you're done with it. You really want to just get on to bed and sleep, but you want like
Yeah.
this day to again happen.
Sometimes it's very
And
subtle also, right? Sometimes, yeah, like as you said, like it's very subtle. You
Yeah.
want to go to sleep, but inside that feeling comes, okay, damn,
okay,
this
Yeah,
is going to
expanding on
the,
Hajra's topic, like it's like when you don't need an external motivation, or like you don't need another, like someone else motivating you or someone else telling you to do it. You just do it on your own. Like you properly, like, thoroughly enjoy what you're doing. That is like that innate drive to do that thing. Like no matter, like even if everyone opposes, or like even if no one is motivating, that is passion for me.
I think I'll
there
add
is
up a point over there as well. I don't think it's just interest or excitement that helps you find out what you're passionate about. It's also what you're good at as well. If you're
yeah,
not good at something, but it is just excitement, that is just excitement, that is not your passion. I believe so. Because if it
yeah,
is just excitement, it is just a one time thing or like a two-time thing. If you are like if you want to really like I think if you really want to understand if something has your passion, you should be good at it. And once you're good at it and you're excited about it, you will see progress, and that is what keep on
keeps it
building
going.
that
Yeah.
curiosity and like creates that consistency, and that is what I think creates or helps you find your passion also.
But Rizwan,
no, there is a
But
kind
I
of
want,
doesn't
slight
obsession beat
yeah,
talent every time?
there is a
hmm,
slight disagreement to Rizwan's statement because for
Yeah, even
me
I
it
disagree.
means there is no thing that you are good at, and if you are there is a finding associated that the good thing, no. So you need
hmm,
to find that good thing. For example, Vincent van Gogh is a world famous painter. When you read his autobiography or his life story, he don't know the basics of painting, and we are still pursuing the beauty and admiring and finding new things from his the last work, Starry Nights. Still a lot of people are admiring his work, and when you read that his autobiography or his life story, he literally trained him as a painter. He started from the scratch because the only thing he want that certain kind of excitement he when he draw one single piece of thing, and from that he worked on that, and he keep motivating, and he go to the very famous painters and assisted them, and they taught some lessons, and he keep on working, and after that he make that his passion. So there is no I don't believe that only the we are
hmm,
one, if we are good at one thing we can
yeah.
obviously
But
there, but
hmm,
there is no certain criteria that we need to be good at that particular thing.
Okay, I'll
As
just yeah, sure, sure. I'll just
hmm,
I'll take
yeah,
2 minutes to basically clear the error on that,
I think I
because I
understood what
think
you want.
being skilled is different, being passionate is different as well. Okay, like this, I could be wrong here, and again, I completely agree with, like obsession always help you reach somewhere, that also I believe in. But if you take Van Gogh as well, Van Gogh, suppose, okay, you take another like another person, someone is very interested in, like really interested in music. Okay, and if there is no progress, this person is continuously learning. Okay, like we say, right, like you make someone, like you make a an insect take stone, like tumbiya kondu, like kalladipika, that kind of
Yeah,
thing we say, right? So in
yeah,
the same way, if you don't see progress, okay, you can train skills. Okay, you're passionate about music, you can train to be a singer, you can try to be that. But if you don't see progress, just the passion for music will not make that person a singer, right? You can try, we can try. If there is no progress, that passion or like that something, that interest goes on. Okay, but it's okay, because I believe that passion, every passion is kind of this like what is that, sprinklers that we use during
yeah.
like Onam and all that, because like there is a phase that it just lights up very high, then it goes down, then you have
That's
to light up
very
again.
nice.
So it's just that
That's very nice.
music is passion, but being a
Hmm.
singer, like singing is not, might not be something that is like he might be passionate about,
Skill.
but he's not
Hmm.
good at that. But again, for that person's joy, yes, following that could be one thing. But if you don't see progress in that, and if that person don't get better at it, I don't think that person will again keep on pursuing that.
Hmm.
Ultimately, I don't think even there is a point in pursuing that as well, ultimately, if it's not only for joy.
and
Hmm.
also they will also find that it's working or working out, no. So
Yeah,
that's a journey.
That comes down to self-awareness, right?
Sure, yeah. And after that, at a point, no matter what others said or what the society said, they know that it's working or working out or not. So,
Mm.
they will move on to the other thing. But pursuing passion, but there is no certain criteria that should be you must be good at that particular thing. So no, because
No,
Yeah.
there are a
definitely,
lot of
definitely.
singers.
Until and unless you try out, like whether you're good at it or not, you will not find out whether you are good at it or
You
not.
will
You
get
have
it
to
wrong.
explore
Yeah,
first. But
yeah.
if you want to really explore that passion, you have to be good at it. Otherwise, you will not pursue that.
And no,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it's about
Not
I think
pursuing passion.
necessarily.
Yeah,
not
Not
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
necessarily you have to
pursue,
pursue passion.
yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
pursue fast.
yeah, there are
uh,
some,
I
for
got what you
example,
mean.
if I'm taking
Mm-hmm.
example of Azhar is someone who is really passionate about coffee. He is
Mm.
not gonna pursue that,
hmm,
Hmm.
and
yeah.
he is good at it, but then he might not even be good at it, but still it will be his passion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
that's
doesn't
just, and
necessary to be
Sorry.
exceptional at your passion. Like you can still
Mm.
do it,
I
enjoy
don't
it.
You
think,
can
Yeah,
you can good at on the long run. You can practice
yeah,
and practice and practice.
work on it.
It will eventually polish your skill.
yeah.
Yeah,
There is
So
that is it.
also.
so
I mean, Van Gogh's story that I was just thinking about. Okay, Van Gogh became a very skilled artist towards the end of his life, and he like made exceptional paintings. But in the beginning, he was not skilled at all. But
yeah,
it does take someone with a very peculiar perspective to do that, right? And that is what he was good at, and
Yeah,
he worked on it.
mm,
that's
He
right.
worked on it.
yeah,
He explored it, and he realized at a certain point, he realized that, "Damn, this is my thing. This
thing.
is something that I can make my life out of." And
Even
that's
if
how he did.
even
But
if
it might
if
not
some
work out for some
even
others.
if some
It works
yeah,
out.
it might not work out for some others, but if a thing is working for you, and you must pursue that, because there is no thing that you have to follow the other's opinion, and okay, it's such a such a crap you are doing. eh? So it will kill your motivation or momentum towards that particular thing. No, if you are feeling that you are making progress day by day, if you're comparing yesterday with the today, there is
Mm.
certain level of this 0.1% of progress that you're doing.
Okay.
You just pursue that. And also what Hajra and Nitin said, no, there is a quote that I used to follow, means I used to read most of my time, mostly. That's the one thing, that there is a big difference between I want to and you need to.
Mm.
Yes.
So when it come to passion, the term associated to this thing is I want to. There is no kind of external pressure that you have to do that, you have to pursue that. But when it comes to you need to do that, it's not your passion. You need to do that. You don't,
Uh,
maybe I might be
yeah,
wrong, but there is an internal calling to pursue that, the initial phase. No, you need to do that. No, I don't think that's passion
that
at the
makes
initial
sense because
initial phase of.
yeah, that makes sense because to step into the passion, yes,
Mhm.
it's an internal calling, it's all want and stuff. But then
Yeah.
once you're into it,
After that, after
yeah,
that,
that was some question I
uh,
had in my head. Like if you're doing something you're really passionate about,
yeah,
people
there must
say you
be.
don't need breaks. What is your
You,
thoughts on that?
You don't
yeah.
need.
You
You
know?
don't need breaks. You're doing something that you really love. Why do you need a break?
Uh,
Because even when you're
that's
doing what you love, the world is still happening around you. There's a lot
mm,
of things that's always happening around you. It's your life is not just the thing that you love. Like, just, life is not only about doing the thing that you love. There's always going to be so many factors around. And sometimes when everything gets kind of cloudy and muddy and kind of thing, you sometimes need a little bit of break to filter through and then guide yourself back to what you really find yourself being happy in or being in love in.
Yeah.
That's the thing,
Actually,
right?
at that
Hmm.
point, probably when you really feel like you need a break, even your passion becomes an I need to.
Hmm, yeah,
mm,
I do agree with that.
yeah,
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 there.
I
Yeah,
do agree with that
that's the
also.
problem with an excessive obsession. Like you reach
Mm,
a point, like if you reach a plateau, then you feel like I'm not moving forward. Like I have to, like then it becomes like it becomes negative obsession. Then you start putting yourself down. So like it's better to take a break there. Like maybe that
mm,
plateaus
mm,
because you're continuously like trying to push. But
Hmm.
if you just took a break there, continued after like a
Hmm.
couple of took it after 2 months, you have a newfound interest to do that, and suddenly you have more passion. Not only passion, like you get a new perspective, even new perspectives, even after when you take,
Hmm.
you start looking at it differently. That break gives you new ideas and stuff.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is where again, where I wanted to again come back to what I said in the beginning, where you have to be good at something to find out what you're passionate about. Because
Mm,
again, it's a constant reinvention of yourself. Even I think in case of Van Gogh as well, if you take, or like suppose let's say if you take me, if I take me as an example, I was so passionate about creating just video content in the beginning. Okay, like I want to create
mm,
videos. That was what I was. Okay, I was like passionate about. As I was getting good at it, I found out, okay, that is not what I'm passionate about. I was passionate about creating specifically about particular topics. Then when I again
mm,
started to do that again, I started to reinvent myself as a different, in that again specifically into different thing. So I believe that, once you start to be good at something, you find out, you explore, okay, you want to pursue something else and you want to go on something else. Like you reinvent yourself again and again and again. And I think that is ultimately, also I have sometimes I even think that, there is nothing called as passion as well, because I always believe, like sometimes I even feel like, okay, it is just an instinct that you have at a particular time that you take, like you say yes and you go to as well. Because sometimes
mm,
even I feel, okay, like this labeling of passion even kind of restricts ourselves from exploring something else or trying out something else as well.
mm. True, true.
Hmm.
I
Yeah, I've
mean,
read this, I don't know where, but a research paper wherein they have explained how passion affects your brain.
Hmm.
So it's actually a trigger of a lot of chemicals, a lot of things that triggers your emotions. And it
mm,
might not stay for long. That might be that one moment of happiness, that one moment of the chemical release,
Hmm.
mm.
which
All
you
right.
then
Hmm.
find reasons to love
Yeah,
as time
and
Hmm.
goes
then
by.
you put effort and your mind to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Actually,
Yeah.
something that I was thinking of when they said the plateau thing and the break thing. I just want to like say it before it goes away. Um, Making strides is good, but it's mostly about the little steps that we take. Making strides is like the whole pushing yourself, breaking boundaries is good. Is obviously good, but I think it's the small steps that keeps you alive, and
Always.
sometimes you need to find some place to kind of rest and then go forward again.
Hmm.
And that's the thing, right? Something passionate about, it like, okay, for example, I'm passionate about traveling, but I've never traveled like that in the way that I really want to. I'm really passionate and it drives me, like I want to do it, I've never done it, but it triggers me inside. Then there are some moments where I think, okay, I'm so passionate about it, but I'm not able to reach that expectations. Why? You know, and then-
And
so
Can
there is
we,
the
that.
also I have, like, as you said, like traveling.
Mm,
Okay. Like, because again, can we,
mm,
is it a problem with the labeling we have? Like, because I always think, because, we are
mm,
so passionate, like all of us, like a lot of us, I think every one of us are passionate about so many things which we haven't done. Can we
yeah,
categorize them as dreams or like wishes and something which we have explored as passion? Or is it a good way to do
yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's the
Ac-
thing, right?
Actually,
Labeling. I think
actually,
I
I
agree.
don't want to label that thing also. Even
Mm,
the thing I'm pursuing also, I don't want to label that into the category of passion, because when you're putting in something into a box, no, we are putting ourselves into a certain set of limitations. We maybe there is a thing that, okay, I'm doing this. Okay, if there is a, okay, this is my passion. Okay, if I'm telling that filmmaking is my passion or writing content is my passion, so there is a certain set of questions associated will be asked to ourselves by society or for ourselves. It's okay if you are passionate about this thing, why you are not doing this? If you are not doing this, means you have this time, this much of times, and this much of times you have wasted. You haven't done anything in this period of time. So maybe it should
yeah,
work organically.
yeah. The labeling does affect, I think.
Ah,
I mean, in my case, I thought I was very passionate about physics. Like, from a childhood, my dream was to become a scientist. So I thought that's my passion.
Don't tell
I'm
me
good at
you are
it.
like, okay, yeah, yeah. Go on,
Oh,
go on.
what?
You're
Nothing,
not
nothing.
Huh?
interested anymore.
No, I'm not.
Very
I'm not saying I'm
concerned.
not interested. But something that I've realized recently is that to become passionate, you need to have a really good amount of knowledge in the area that you're passionate about. You need to kind of explore it. And
Hmm.
I've been saying, I'm so passionate. I'm gonna become a scientist. I'm gonna become a physicist. But I haven't even completed a proper course in physics yet. I still keep saying that I need to, and even philosophy. I say I'm gonna pursue philosophy, but it's this recent revelation that I've had that I haven't exactly explored it deep enough to say that it's my passion, and I love it.
And
I think it could be my passion,
we
but
love
yeah, that limitation thing. I think I'm
we
limiting myself and keeping expectations.
love a particular thing, or we start pursuing a particular thing by seeing from the outside, from the
Yeah,
outward, the long in a picture, in a long frame. Maybe that we feel that it's very small thing and we can pursue it. When we started pursuing that particular thing, or when we dig deeper into that particular thing, now we came to know that it's huge.
Hmm.
It's not the thing that we expected. It's not the thing. Yeah.
yeah,
For example, okay, when I started recording podcast, first podcast, uh, I used to tell that okay, it's very easy, just record and to just publish it. It's very easy process. But when I start recording and after doing a lot of that process, the behind process, no,
behind the
I feel
scenes.
that, and after that, I start acknowledging all the person who work in technical side of that sound, because I know that okay, at this point of time that this sound comes and he put an effort for that.
Kadavale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think like I
Yeah.
even when I say, like, there is a point where I
Mhm.
say, okay, you should not label anything, but this is the point where I want to label things, where I want to label things as interest. Also, I sometimes I think, okay, interest, passions, dreams, wishes, all of this are same, but sometimes I even think, okay, you want to basically label things as interest, some things as dreams, some things as wishes, some things as passions, because again, when we say, okay, we are influenced by so many things, and most of our dreams, wishes, and everything are of others people. Even if we say, like, we are so self-aware and everything, most of our wishes are, again, we kind of borrow from people. And I think the same way we get these interests, these passions also, as how we classify, from other people, which we tend to not explore. Some person who has explored traveling is really passionate about traveling, and we tend to, okay, believe, okay, I want to be a traveler, but we don't know the ABCD of that as well. We don't tend to explore that. I think that could be an interest, or an area of interest we can classify as well.
And there is a
Like,
dialogue, that very interesting dialogue. There is a, we are a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah. Yeah, we are, isn't it? I think Asnatha is saying
That's
something.
yeah, I want to say like if all of us have some passions that will lead us into a special way. Like we are significant, or we find a signature way in that. Like you all said about Vincent Van Gogh. He is not like Raja Ravi Verma.
Hmm.
When a painter, we will think about like Raja Ravi Verma or Da Vinci, so and so. But Van Gogh will find his own way. So if you have a passion, that will lead you into a separate way or a specific way. Like Alan said, you wanted to be a traveler, but you are inside. I mean, your passion leading into a different way. That's why you are taking such a nice videos or nice shots of your location. That is leading into some other way. You are passionate about that. That's why you are going to that way. So it will lead, if you are really passionate about something, that will lead you into a special one, a special way. Yeah.
You
That's
will
the
find ways to do what you love.
yeah, I like it.
That's a nice
That's
insight.
nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a very
Yeah,
great perspective, because
Yeah.
huh,
You will always find ways to do
there's
what you
always
love.
a signature of
Mm.
ours when
Yeah.
Yeah,
while you're doing
obviously,
that.
as I know, I'm a baker. I'm very passionate about that, and I had lot of obstructions why I started this. I have
Mm.
spent all my night to bake the cake, design the cake, and all. If you go through my page, you can see I never repeated a design.
yeah.
I never repeated any artificial colors. So that was my passion, and I used it to invent, or I used it to produce something new.
because I
Hmm.
had that passion inside me. Nothing, no obstructions defend me or put a negative
Yeah.
impact in me. I had lost load of nights, I had lost load of sleeps and all, but I never complained that to anyone because I'm
There's
really
there's a
passionate about that. So
there's
if
a
you have
lot of
some
bakers
passion,
in this world, but there's
yeah.
only one Asnata baker.
But my day, thank you. Like that,
Yeah,
if you
no, no.
yeah.
It's very true, Asnata. It's
It's
very, very,
literally
it's like
insightful.
500,000, like 500% true. Because
Mhm.
again, recently I was attending a webinar, and there is
Hmm.
this one person who wanted to, like, who was having everything. Okay, he's like, this person is like, I have bought cameras, I have bought lighting, I have made the setup, I have made every single thing. I've had an editor. No, this is not even a webinar. This was, I went to a place, I met a friend, and this guy is a friend of a friend. This guy has everything. Okay, all the latest equipments, even hired an editor and everything, but he's not having a content. And I was like, why? I asked him why. Like, he's like, okay, I have content idea, but I don't want to do this way. I want to do this specific way. I want to create videos. Like, okay, so I need to like, I have hired an editor who edits like Sam Calder. I've hired an like a copywriter who writes like Yes Theory. I was like, why? I was like, why? I was like, because I wanted to create something that has that is having that quality, and that should be different as well. It's like, bro, when you speak the same thing, suppose let's say I and like we both are sitting at the same place and we're talking about the same thing, we both speak the same thing in two different ways. And even if it's a script that we both are reading, we both read in different tones, different modulations, and different perspectives. So it's already different. So don't keep postponing that, just start that. So that is very true. And I think, again,
Hmm.
I want to again come back to a point where Asnata said, I have just sacrificed countless nights. I've never repeated a design. And I am having a kid, I'm having a family, I'm doing a job where I have to invest all my day as well. But have you ever regretted doing that, following your, like, what you're really passionate about or like interested about?
No, never. Because I have multiple passions. I wanted to be a civil engineer or a BIM designer. That's one passion. I want to be a baker. That's another passion. I want to be a good mom. That's another passion. I think a person can have multiple passion. That's not a
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm always
absolutely. Yeah.
happy on that.
yeah. So, I
Yeah,
think even yesterday we were having the same discussion about following the passion. Why should you follow the passion? Should you follow money? Should you follow passion? Like your take on that? Like, should you follow money? Should you follow passion? Should you follow interest? What would be that? How would you take that?
If you
I,
really
Uh,
follow your passion, money will come to you. That's
yeah.
my
yeah.
my experience is like that. I never.
If you
I think for a 1 year I have sold. I just gifted the cakes for free to all of my cousins, my friends, and all. But later on, if the prices also increase, they are ready to buy it from me because they find really something special in that. So if you
Exactly.
really follow your passion, money will come to you. That's
There-
obvious
There's
for me.
always a
yeah,
there's always a
I think
market waiting for you
Yeah,
guys.
obviously.
I I
If
think
you
money.
really do that, you
Yeah.
can earn from that too. Yeah.
I think money is just a byproduct. You just
Hmm.
enjoy the process and you just be in the process. Just
Hmm.
sincerely work out, and at a particular point of time, you will make that a passion into money.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
will
yeah.
it will happen organically. For example,
Hmm.
there is a living example in this conversation itself. If Rizwan started out of passion, he started podcast, he
Hmm.
started YouTubing, he started creating videos. He didn't, as far as I know him, he didn't focused on the money he want to make. I want to create this kind of this much of amount at this particular time. I didn't know he didn't have a conversation till date. And
Hmm.
if he focused on that particular facet of that creation, I'm pretty much sure that he won't reach there. Maybe he can reach there, but the audience, the set of audience he is having right now, won't be the same.
Yeah, I think that is a big point, right? Like money is important. Money is obviously important in this world because money is a social construct that is essential for survival. But if you think about it, most people who have started big businesses or something that they really love, they started from somewhere and slowly built a huge institution around it, around the thing that they love. And it happens, I think, if you work hard on a skill, it will eventually be recognized. It's a long run thing. It might not happen in a day, it might not happen in a month, it might not even happen in a year or two, but eventually and it takes a lot of sacrifice too, right? Like it's not easy, because initially you won't get a lot of money from it. If you pursue it as initially, you won't be able to get a money out of it, and sometimes you might have to do some part-time jobs, you might have to work on the side, but still keep working on the things that you love, because money is essential. You need to pay the rent.
Yeah.
But at the same time, eventually, if you put in as many hours as you can into something that you really love, you can make it as a skill that will be honored, and that will be accepted by a bigger market, bigger audience, and you can actually make it into your own career, I
Yeah, I
think.
think I was about to say that because when we say we just want to go behind our passion and stuff, if you really want your survival money from your
You need
passion,
to
that
get
will take time.
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah,
Making more money from passion and making your survival money from passion are two different things.
yeah.
Things.
And end of the day, we have to figure out that we need to survive, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
money is an essential thing to survive. So if you're very at the initial budding stage of your passion, if you started the pursuing passion, and if you keep working on that, if you are not getting a money for survival, I don't think you can put your complete mind into this particular thing. There is
Hmm.
a thing that that cycle should go on,
Hmm.
and the
Yeah.
show must go on. So
I think
you have to.
what, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to work, and you have to, as Alan said, you have to do an extra work for your
Hmm.
living, and you have to divide your time. You have to sacrifice, as Asnata do. You have to sacrifice a lot of sleep. Say you have to sacrifice a lot of party night or your social nights and social gatherings,
True.
and you have to create a basement for your passion first.
Hmm.
And
I think
once, yeah,
I think what,
Mm,
yeah, exactly what was when you
mm,
took the example of Rizwan, I was about to say the same thing. The reason
yeah.
why he was working on his passion without thinking money was because he was getting his survival money from somewhere
yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
and
was
all
also
and also the one thing, no, if you are making your passion for survival on before you're getting very good at it, or no, if
there.
you're
Hmm.
very good at it, you have to sacrifice a lot of things, because you have to
Very
Mm,
much.
manipulate a lot of things in your into your
mm,
passion. Means
Yeah.
maybe, as Alan said, you
yeah.
want to do a content like this, and
Mm,
if your sponsors or brand sponsors want the things to do in this particular way, and as you want to make money and you want to survive in this world, you are forced to do that particular thing. So
yeah.
as a content creator, you have to
Mm,
think that, no, oh, okay,
mm,
as a creator you have to think, in which way you have to be projected in this world. You have to very
mm,
clear about this, and you have to, if you want
true.
to be particular about the way you want to be projected, or the way you want
Mhm.
to put out, you have to
Yeah.
work for that also.
Yeah.
And the thing, right, it's all about the way you really want your life to be. Like, you can have party nights and all that, you can, and do whatever you want. That's a version of life that you want to live. If you're really passionate about something, you really want to make it a career, sometimes you will have to devote some of those party hours to this. It won't happen, everything won't happen all together so easily. It's gonna be hard. You might have to work, you might come home from 10-hour shifts from your part-time job, you have to do university work at the
Mm.
same time, you need to find some time to do these things, because to keep everything afloat, it's very difficult. And sometimes you
And
will have to push some stuff outside your boat just to
mm,
keep yourself afloat, and that
Yeah.
could be
few,
unnecessary, things like,
mm,
okay, partying all night, it can always happen eventually.
But
few
wouldn't you
days
rather
few,
sacrifice your party nights for your
Mm.
passion?
yeah,
Yeah, I think
few
I would.
I think it's again very subjective.
Subjective, that's the thing, it's
few
very
days back,
subjective.
Hajra sent a reel in Instagram, and it's Raj Shaman is reel, and
Mm.
he said that if you're hating your job, your daily job, and if you want to quit that job, are you doing anything for getting out of that particular thing?
Mm.
Yeah.
Even if it's your passion, okay, if you are very passionate about that particular thing, okay, you are having a day job or 9 to 5 job, and you are having a particular set of time after that job, if you're doing anything related to that, it's
Hmm.
very important.
Yeah,
If you're not doing
I
that,
think there are two kind of passion followers and two kind of followers. Okay. When I
Hmm.
say two kind of passion followers, one among them is basically privileged, and on the other side, the other people are non-privileged. Privileged people, they have something to fall back on. They can go on without thinking about money, food, shelter, table, nothing. They can do whatever they want because they have something to fall back on. And there are some people who are not privileged. They need to, like, that is where something we have all spoken about comes in, like you have to do a separate job for your bills to pay, and then you have to put in extra things, you have to sacrifice things to basically make it work. And when I say two type of followers, again, one type of followers are where they blindly follow, like if someone of
Yeah.
them they are following their passion, they can, okay, they're going for partying, they're doing this, then all that, they might be privileged, but these people might not be, but they'll follow that blindly. Okay, this people is going to Europe, I'm also going to plan a trip on Europe, I'll create videos, same thing, but the bank budget will not allow that, even like whether like the trading, whatever it is. And on the other side, there are other kind of followers who are practical about life, who are realistic about life, who think before they follow people. And there is difference in both as well. And you take four into four, like two into two, there are different combinations that are created again over here, and each
Hmm.
combination has a different story to say as well. And now coming
Yeah.
to one more thing about when we say about sacrifices, I have one question, and that too especially is about relationships, because most of the time, again, when we follow passion, what I've observed is that the biggest thing you sacrifice is not time, it's not money, it's not food, it's not experiences, it's not partying or something, it's mostly relationships, and that ultimately creates the
Yeah.
sacrificing of everything else, like
Yeah.
money, time,
I
everything else.
I I remember this thing. I don't remember it perfectly. It was in Ikigai, I believe. It was like kind of getting separate from like your social life or all that, and just pursuing something that you really feel like you're passionate about. It was some about some writer, or it was a artist.
Yeah,
He
Ikigai is
drawing this.
about this topic only.
Yeah, about
Hmm.
this topic, and in that there was
Like,
this reference where that person follows a life where he's devoid of any other social interactions, and he's focusing in a state of flow in what he does. He draws for like Ghibli studios and all that, and that's what he's passionate about, and he stays in there, and he does not need these social interactions. That's the kind of thing that happens to that person. He does not need social relationships. He's completely content with what he does, and that's how he lives. But it's not the same for everyone.
Hmm.
Some people need relationships to be alive, even though they might have a passion. So I think there's a lot of balance that goes in there. It's through some, when it comes to relationships and all that, it comes down to what you really want.
Yeah.
What
So
do
my
you really
question, okay, that's a great point. Okay, so I would like to add up on a question as well. I think
want?
as far as I know, most of the people over here are people who are genuinely following their passion right now, and who have been or trying to as well. As far as I know, you guys, I know
Yeah.
that most of us over here are people who are actually going behind or have been going behind their passions and have sacrificed a lot of things, and I know that personally. So out of your experience, um, when it comes to the
Mm.
relationships and the sacrifices, how have you been feeling about following your passions when you think about relationships? And how have you been managing the relationships? Because again, first things I can kind of blindly agree is that I'm not really good at kind of like maintaining relationships, especially because I'm too obsessed with following or being wherever I am. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is where the
Yeah.
question comes in as well. So I'll just set a
It
context
often.
as well. So I'm basically asking you kind of your learnings from the life, where how you have been, if you're good at it or if you're bad at it, what is your understanding or learning about that relationships and passions?
Hmm. And okay. I think I come on the same boat of what Rizwan said. I don't, I'm not able to kind of maintain relationship at some point, because I am where I am right now. I focus on where I am right now, and it affects you a lot, because I've come to realize that I don't even call my parents a lot once I've reached here. It's necessary. They say it's necessary.
Bro.
Keep relationship like your parents. I get it. I completely get it. But sometimes I'm so obsessed with being here, seeing the trees, that I kind of lose track of time. Sometimes I just forget these relationships exist, and it hits you heavy sometimes when they point it out, and you realize, oh shit, have I been hurting someone else because I'm so occupied with something that I'm passionate about? Then that question comes: is my passion really good if it's hurting someone else? And to all those questions, I don't think I have a perfect answer right now. Still searching for it. But I think in the end, you need to feel content. Because in the end, you only have yourself, right? Like, I know people are there, truly, everyone is going to be there. But in your loneliest moments, the things that drive you, the things that are in you, within you, the things that make you happy is all you have. And it's essential to keep that alive. Because if not for that, you might lose yourself in a race to maintain relationships.
Hmm.
So
For
Yeah,
me,
uh,
okay, Nitin,
go on.
go on.
Yeah, like
Right.
in the past also I have failed so many relationships because of following my passions. Even now I had a fight with, like today I had a fight with my mom for I did not call her for like past 2 3 days, and even in the last week when like she called me, I never called her. Like following your passions definitely takes a toll on your relationships, and like I'm not the person to answer this actually. I have no idea.
Actually, okay, I will answer this question. Means
mm,
I'm keep on checking this thing on a continuous manner. Means I'm a person. Maybe I am a person who use that balance, the word balance, a lot because I try. I'm in just a trial and error phase in when we pursuing the fashion. No, there is a trial and error version is going on right now in my life because okay, I'm pursuing my passion, but after that, after I'm reaching a point of getting that point, I need these people in my life to enjoy my success. So if okay, I reach a point, I'm pursuing that, I'm getting hatred from all kind of relationships I'm surrounded with. There is no point of getting into a particular point, or you're pursuing a passion, and we need that external validation any day. Even if you are not telling that, there is a kind of external validation that okay, my son reached there, and my son achieved this thing, and we make them proud. So I'm a person who keep a check on every relationship. Even if my friend, I know, if Rizwan knows, I used to call you daily, I used to call my parents daily. Even if I'm very in a hectic schedule, I'm working as a marketing sales, and I'm doing a lot, I'm traveling a lot on a daily manner, as I'm scripting, I'm creating podcasts. So my life is filled with a lot of activities, but it's our priorities to make a check on them, because it's very important to as important as we feel our success is important, and they also need that. But their 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 concern and their hate comes from a place that they loves you a lot, because they are not getting your attention that particular point. So you have to uh, think into the root cause of that particular thing, no, why they are complaining.
I mean, that is there. They want you to be successful and all that. And this is something that I battle with when I try to follow my passions. There are these expectations that are already set. And I feel like sometimes I don't call my parents or I don't talk to some of my friends just because I think they admire a version of me that is not me right now. You know? And
Obviously,
all these
obviously
expectations.
there is a
And that's,
midlife
yeah.
crisis should be there. Means
And
there
that
is
is it. But the
Yeah.
thing, like, the okay, I want to pursue writing, I want to pursue speaking and all that. I want to explore deep in that. But when I call and tell my parents about it, they see myself as they see me as a physicist, and they don't see me as a writer. And that's also a reason that passion, you want to pursue your passion so much, but when you're a people pleaser like me, yeah, it affects you because people expect different things from you, and it's a paradox of running around that trying to meet ends. And that's, as a
I will say an anecdote from my life. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. I'm staying away from my parents, and I have a podcast, and I'm created 10 episodes so far. So from till I am making eighth episode, my parents won't know about my podcast. And I used to give a glimpse about this, that okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And one day, one of my cousin make my father sit and hear this podcast. And he make
Mm.
and actually he don't promote, I mean he don't want me to do this particular thing, and he don't want, he has a set, as Alan said, he said he have a certain set of preset that I have to follow, and I have to pursue a good job and get married and all sort of stuff. But after hearing that podcast, and he sent a voice note that I'm very proud of you. End of the day, end of the day means okay, it that matters for me. Means they are very, there is a social stigma that if they go on this particular route, they will be struggling, they will fail at that particular field, and they will be having a very hard time on their life. So they are putting that concern on you. Okay, we have to make them understand that we can pursue it, and we can make money of that, we can do it very goodly, in a very
Mm.
good manner. So end of the day, that matters, I think. So maybe I'm
Definitely.
wrong.
Yeah, there's
Mm.
also one more thing. Okay, just add up on, because when we say about relationships, I don't think anyone over here would disagree that parents are not a priority. Because, and again, I think even if it's in 2 or 3 days, how much ever we are like busy or like whatever we're doing, we tend to make sure okay the relationship is going fine. But
Mm.
take the other
What about
relationships.
after? Mm.
Okay, take other relationships. Okay, I don't remember, I don't have how many friends, because I have too many friends.
Yeah.
Okay, and most of the time I get irritated so much that I'm not able to connect with every one of them, or like at least suppose let's say
Yeah.
half of them, or like 25% of them. Not possible. Okay, and even like that is where my I know it's one way, it's right for me, and on the other side it's also not right for me as well, in another like different ethics of it. Okay, because again, it's not possible. Yes, I know that it will reach out to everyone at once every single day. If that is the case, that all you have to do is like sit every day and dial the number, that is not possible. But still,
Yeah.
in okay, let's take my case. Okay, if I go somewhere, okay, I'll make new friends there, I'll make a lot of friends
Mm.
there, I'll make the best
Yeah.
time out of there, I'll have people know me, I'll have them known to me and everything. But again, when I'm away from some people, it's again difficult for me to like to reach out to them again, like to put that effort again. It's not that they're not my priority, it's because that I'm investing my whole self, my whole time as the as the number one priority wherever I am. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not, it's not again like
Yeah.
the absence of priority, but it is again the presence of different priorities at like
Yes.
at specific times.
I
And
get
yes,
that a lot.
obviously, as with others said, like being, having people to be there when you reach somewhere is must. At the end of the day, we are like, I am really grateful for my parents, my best friends, you guys, and some very important people in my life to be there at any point of time. But again, I think it's after
Mm.
few days again we are connecting.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not the
Exactly.
absence of priority for me, but it
It's
is the presence of priority. But
it's,
again, for me,
mm.
like the most important priority at any point of time have been, and I think, I don't know, like I'm constantly trying to work on relationships because I'm learning every single day, and this is my newfound obsession, relationships, to learn about that. And like
Very
what I'm observed is like what I'm observed is that I am
Mm.
being fully present, and that is one of my number one priority. At wherever I am, being fully present.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah.
And I'm okay. I got the okay. Asnata,
You,
go on.
you
But
go, you
no,
go.
after that, actually.
Asnata,
Someone
Asnata,
go
I
you
just
want
on.
to?
want to, yeah, I just want to add, like,
Yeah.
in case
Mm.
of relationship, we cannot keep all the relationship up to date at every day. Like, if you have a
Mm.
spouse, if you have your parents, if you have your children, the persons who are coming in the first circle of that
Mm.
nucleus, that you can keep on everyday, daily basis, or like that. but other relations you can keep up, like sometimes you can just text me, or while you seeing their status you can just send something, like that way you can update it, or
Mm,
if you have some special days of them you can wish them, and like that you can maintain the relationship. Okay, but
mm,
Can
following
I?
this, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, continue, continue.
Following your passion and keeping this relationship, to both these things cannot be like uh, like sync, like
won't be
yeah.
linear,
There is
I'll
a
say. Won't be
Yeah,
sacrifice.
linear.
yeah,
Mm.
that's
Not
too
linear.
difficult. And I have to
It's
say
not.
one to this Alan also,
Mm,
keeping relation is not mean to pleasing people. Okay, if we are
mm,
keeping relation, we don't want to, there is no need to please any people. You have to
yeah.
your own live your own life. Okay, but
Exactly.
at the
Mm,
same time you can keep the relation too.
yeah.
So
Mm.
there is no,
Mm.
I mean,
I'm
like,
I get that. I do
I'm
understand it.
I'm having a counter for Rizwan's answer. Okay, as you said, no, what is backfire? I think it's purely my opinion. It's very personal opinion. As you said, no, you are giving 100% to the person you are presented over there, no, and you know that you are a person you can't give that 100% after you are getting out of that zone. Means if you are okay, you are present in this zone and you are giving your 100%, and you are, when you go out of that zone, you know that you can't give that 100%, but when you give that 100%, you set a standard for your friendship, and the people expect you that particular standard from every time.
Mm,
Hmm.
So you as a person that people conceive it as, okay, Rizwan is very good at keeping relationship and Rizwan will give that 100%. And if you can't able to keep up that expectation, no, that is something that
yeah.
backfiring you.
It
So
deteriorates. Mm,
yeah,
Yeah, I
so
agree with that. Okay,
I
there is
do.
also
so
I
one more
do
thing.
agree.
Okay,
mm,
when you say
Mm-hmm.
again, if that is if that is how you measure anything out, then I don't think we can't do anything.
yeah, I
Suppose
mean,
in
I
one
agree.
test,
I'm
in one math test, you have scored 100, and if you expect
Mm.
yourself to score 100 every single time in
Yeah, you won't.
in
Yeah,
10th standard,
yeah,
in like engineering, in like
true.
undergrads and PG and everything, I don't think it will work. One more thing is
I'm
that
Right.
telling.
even
That's
like even if I'm not, suppose let's say it's not like I'm going to completely forget them, not like that, but when I'm again coming back to them, I am the whole
Mm,
with them.
yeah,
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 Yeah, the
yeah.
yeah.
thing is,
That's
he's
why. That's
not giving. He's not
Giving,
giving expectations. He's
he's
just living his thing over
he's
Yeah.
there.
living
things,
and there,
but
and
people
he's
are
just going.
making expectation out of
Yeah.
your
But he
giving
doesn't
to
have
them.
to care about that, right?
Yeah,
He
I'm
doesn't
a
yeah.
have to
whole
care
giver.
about that.
That's the thing. Like, I
The
give.
whole giver.
Yeah, I'm the whole
Yeah,
Okay.
giver. Okay, and that, yeah, I
mm,
understand that sets the expectations.
Mm,
yeah.
And
mm,
That's
I think I've told this at least to 100 people that don't set like even when we are
yeah.
having the
Mm,
right time, and I've killed the mood enough times as
mm,
well by saying this. Things might be
yeah.
going so well, but I'll say don't keep any expectations on me. I say this
Yes.
mm,
consciously because
mm.
I understand. Okay, I'm this person. I might be this. It's like the movie Tamasha, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
like I am a whole different person when this is right now, but when I'm with you, I'm that person. But when I'm
Mm,
not with you, it might take some effort for me to again be that person in my absence with you.
exactly.
and
And
also
and
the
I also say that to different people, and they get a very mixed reaction. They feel like we are destroying the moment, but
it's
the truth is,
it's actually
expectations
the
come.
love
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
giving to
I
us.
get that. I
Just
get it.
taking that
But at
perspective.
the same
I
time, it's like, when we set so many expectations for certain things, when it goes wrong, it's gonna deteriorate your mental health so much. Hmm. You need to understand, okay, certain hopes are good. Hope, I think, is good. Expectations, I don't think, it needs a, reality check every once in a while.
Yeah,
Expectations need a reality check, and hopes do need that too, but it's a balance, I think.
and
I
also.
just want to get back to what Rizwan was asking actually in the first
Yeah,
first
yeah,
the question. Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, balance is the word, but it's not easy, and it's never
Yeah,
going to be easy. Okay,
and
you and
I want to
yeah,
break you
go.
on this on one sentence. Means the only thing I'm doing now, I just ask this question that am I doing my sincere effort on that particular relationship and on that particular time. The only
Hmm.
checkpoint is that, or else we can't leave. we can't
Hmm.
satisfy people around you completely, but am I doing
I have a
my
counter
100% about
question
this?
to that. Okay, like or a counterpoint to that, but I do agree with that. But let Hajra speak. Yeah.
Okay, so see, balance doesn't have to be 50-50.
Hmm.
When you're going into, take my example, okay? If I'm taking myself as an example, the first times I actually wanted to turn this whole passion into a career, it might not be the the situation is not same as now.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
at that time, probably giving 80% of my time to my thing, to my passion, is what balance is.
Hmm.
Okay, now one, we all said, right, we have to balance. We can actually find out, we can actually make them understand. Now, how is the question? I think one way to make them understand is when I did this mistake, but this is what I learned from it. Okay, so one mistake I did was same what Rizwan said. I can relate to that. When I am into something, I am into something. Okay, nothing else around matters. I won't pick up the phone. I won't do all this. So that happens to me all the time. So
Hmm.
one thing you can say this is, I am this kind of a person.
Mm,
This is a problem that I have, and it is not like, it's not I am this. You have to accept me. No, it's a
Hmm.
fault in me. It's a
Hmm.
flaw in me. Okay, first is that. Second is, take them
mm,
along as you move.
mm,
Okay, one simple example is, I had an event yesterday. So if I
mm,
went there, if I had gone there alone, probably nothing. If you're talking about a relationship, my partner would not have understood much when I came back and told to him. But since he came along with me, he got to
mm.
know a lot of things about how this works.
Show them. Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even the
Show them.
same thing what Azhar was saying. Like when you stay away, when I started all what I'm doing right now, when I started taking my passion completely, like 100% of my passion into my career, my parents were not around me, and the only thing they were concerned about is, 5 years you studied something, now you're not doing that.
Mm,
That was all that mattered. And I remember when I came back home, when I was sitting there, my mother was like, "You're not doing anything, now come and help me." When I would be like completely tight on my schedule. But I stayed there for a month. I kept her aside. I like, come here, sit with me. I'm having a meeting. Come sit with me. When they
yeah.
start seeing you, when they become a part of your journey, they'll know. Okay, this is how this is how things work for her, and they'll tend to understand you better also. At the first, it'll be like, you're not giving me time, and this
Hmm.
constant guilt inside us when we follow passion, that will remain, that won't go.
And
Even
there is.
today, even today,
Hmm.
if I do all 100% effort into my relationship with friends, relationship with my partner, with my parents, even if I call them every day, even if I do everything for them every day, I'll still have this constant guilt that it's because I'm following my passion that I'm sacrificing a lot of time with them. That will
Yeah.
always be there. And the
Uh,
question comes, you know why that triggers? Because people keep asking you, you could have worked, no, you could have just worked 9 to 5. Why are you saying that you're sacrificing this? You only decided to do it.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
there is
Yes.
one thing. There is one thing I want to add to Hajara's perspective. Okay, it's very important that people to understand what you're doing and what kind of zone you are in, what kind of work you are involved in. So, but that's a one thing. And but the one thing you have to make sure that you have to make them understand that you are, at least you have to make them know that okay, I'm working this kind of work culture. It's so hectic, and we
Mm.
can't expect others to they will understand, and they have to understand why are not
Mm,
getting it. And you have to make them understand, if that person is very important to you, if that
mm,
friendship is very important to you, you make them tell that. Okay, make them as Hajara said, make them understand the density of work you're doing. And
But
if you are Mhm.
that's something
I
I
think,
tried and
yeah.
didn't work.
Yeah.
Like I tried telling
Uh,
them,
No, it's
yeah, I
important
said,
to
I
that
think
it's
it's a
didn't
mix
important
work.
to
of that.
justify
I
you.
think it's a mix of that.
It's
Like
important to
you,
justify your part. It's not
Yeah.
mm,
only not for them, to make you get out of that guilt trip you are doing. Okay, I
that
had
is it.
made an
No,
effort that
actually,
I try to understand.
for me, more than the guilt that I had, it was
Others,
about
how
them
they felt.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
how they feel.
Yeah.
And I was in a confusion
Exactly.
whether I should actually leave this because people matter
Yeah.
to me.
Hmm.
That's because these people actually matter to me. So I tried telling them first, be it my parents, be it my friends, be it my partner. Have tried telling to them that this is how things work. uh, I'll just say an example. Most of my work goes through phone.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'll be like saying I am having work, and then
But
they
still
don't
he
see me
using phone.
working.
So,
They don't see me working.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Mm.
they'll be
Yeah.
like,
That's a thing. It's a thing.
why are you
Yeah.
not doing work then?
Hmm.
Okay.
I get that.
But
I
then
get
what
that.
I did was, yeah, it might be proving to them, might be for others, but that's necessary. Like I showed it, this is how things work. See, this is what I'm doing on the phone.
I
One
used
time they
to,
get to know that,
yeah.
you don't need to say that. I'm like, she's working. Even for my mother also, when these meetings used to happen at 12 and 1 o'clock, at first she was like, how will I say it to people that you're
Exactly.
working at this point, especially when you go out? Even
Hmm.
today, I was out. I had to
Mm.
get back at 10:15. I can't say it to people. People are like, 10:15 in the meeting.
Yeah.
Like, what meeting is happening at
Uh,
10:15?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
So
And then
now
the
that my partner understands that this is how at first might be not, that might be not be the case, but now that he understands, he's like, okay, 10:15 she has a meeting. And when people ask what meeting at that, he has, like, he knows
Answer.
enough now
Yeah.
that he'll say people from different countries
I
will join.
Yeah.
So this is how
before
it
yeah.
happens.
And before
There
I
is
had a
there is
I
a,
had a scenario. I just want to mention this because I could relate with Hajara a lot. I used to write a lot on my phone. I did not have a laptop, and my laptop was like I had a laptop, but it was damaged. So I think 2020 during COVID time, I was always on my phone noting down things, reading things, and all that. And I used to get so many taunts and so many things. And my parents used to tell my relatives, my aunts, he's always on the phone. He's not doing anything productive. And I get sick of it. But I still think that there were so many poems that I wrote in that time period that are so like I'm really proud of them. I haven't posted them right now because it talks a lot. Those are very pain
Yeah.
filled poems. So I haven't
mm.
shared them now because
Yeah,
I don't.
I
Mm.
actually
There
want to
is a
add
there is a
something.
thing.
Yeah,
Mm,
I want to
Okay.
add
mhm,
something. There is this thing about talking through phone. So when you stay away, suppose from your relationship that you're saying, if you're staying away from them, I had this certain time when my partner was working, and
mm,
even I was actually very passionate about what I was working, but still I couldn't understand. You see him online, you're
Hmm.
texting him, you don't get back the reply,
Hmm.
you get pissed off.
Yeah.
But probably he's texting something regarding work. These are the
Yeah.
little things, okay? We'll all call this cringe and stuff, but then these are the little stuff that actually, like, if you understand, okay, he might be online because he might be texting something related to work, he might not be even seeing what you're messaging. Once you get there into your head, nothing actually, this won't get into all this tangle that it
Yeah.
is.
yeah,
Absolutely.
There is
Yeah. 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 They're gone,
mm,
please. Yeah.
there is something related to my work. My parents used to say that you are planning your schedule and you're working on your own terms, no? Because for a salesperson, there is the only peg that he can plan his day accordingly. So I'm doing sales marketing. So when my parents don't take my job so seriously, so
mm,
when they ask for to come on the month ends, especially on the month ends, I refuse to go. I refuse to go, and I tell that it's month end. Don't call me. I won't be free on that particular day. But when they keep on insisting me to come on that month, then okay, you can. The next day is very free day for as a salesperson for the first day. So one of my friend, he was working for last 3 years on this company, and when my mother called me that to come on my house on 31st of that particular month, and I was keep on juggling to convince them, okay, not to, I'm not ready to come on this, there are a lot of things to do. And he told me, my colleague told me, you have to go on this day, you have to work from your home this day. And I don't know why he said that you have to work from home. And I asked my manager, and he agreed to work from home. And on that particular day, they planned to go our relatives' home.
mm.
Actually, a 1 hour distance travel, it takes 3 hours. due to the continuous calls and the mails I'm getting.
Hmm.
On that particular day, my parents told me, okay, I understand. This is what you're going through. And
You know
he
what?
told,
Actually,
and my colleague
yeah,
told
yeah.
me, for this I insisted you to go there, because when you try to convince
Mm.
them, no, they won't get it. It's something that you are putting your excuses, and you're getting away, you're finding excuses, you're getting away from them. But make them show how these
Hmm.
things are going,
I think I
working
think
around
that's
it.
a I think it's very valid. I've seen a difference. I guess recently I've been sending my writings to my parents too. I keep doing that. I just don't let it stay on Insta, and I send it to my parents. I send it, first to my sister, then she shows it to my parents. But I send it to my mom. She's in Oman. She's alone right now, and I send it to her. And now I'm seeing a huge difference in the first writings, small replies. When I
Mm.
see, nowadays when I send like constantly about like my proper writings or videos and all that, she replies with a huge essay. She's like, God bless you, you're so proud of it and all that. And
Share.
yeah, man, that's the difference.
So good.
That's too good.
But when
You
I
know,
tell when
that's
I
one
tell
important
Wonderful.
thing.
when I
I
tell them
think
when I
that's
tell
one
them
thing
that
I
how
can
the
And,
add.
person attitude difference,
answer to this one's questions is you to
no
make
start.
them understand what you're going through.
Okay,
That's the
I'll.
You
only
know,
thing that we
when
can
Yeah.
do.
it gets difficult, when both are at the starting point, like when your
Hmm.
relationship is also at the starting point and
And
your
yeah,
following your passion is also at the
passion.
starting
That's the
point,
Hmm.
point.
then it gets really tough.
Really
So
tough.
one
Hmm.
thing, especially for people like me,
Hmm.
especially for people like me,
Like
I
me.
think I don't share much to people. I have never been that person. I know Rizwan can
Yeah,
also relate to this a
Hmm.
lot. Like, be it your
yeah,
milestones, be it anything, people have to
yeah,
come and ask. They get to know from somewhere
yeah.
and they come out, did something like this happen?
And
It
then you're
was
like,
one
oh
month
yeah,
ago. So
Mm.
what happens is these people don't get to know what you're actually doing, and they are progressing in this, and you're actually working hard for that, and you've reached this.
yeah.
So for them, the measuring of your growth is these milestones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one thing we can do is, at least it takes a lot of effort for people like me, but then let them know, see, this is what's happening now. This is what I'm doing. I'm hoping that this will happen if I do this.
End of the day, you just think about it. If you're not doing that, okay, if you're not trying to convince that, you are not going to leave your passion. It will not give a positive ending. The only thing, if
Mm.
you want to survive in the both boats, no, you have to
Mm.
sail both boats.
Your relationship might not understand, will
Hmm.
not understand your passion as much as you understand. So only
Yeah.
And
one thing
also
you
when you
can
are
do
in a
is,
very figuring
but
out
they
stage, no.
understand your success. They'll understand that milestone.
And yeah, that.
So you,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that journey towards that milestone, if you keep dragging them into that, like, okay, this I'm doing, this I'm
No,
doing, and my goal is this, then when you reach that goal, they'll find like, okay, now all of this makes sense.
Hmm.
Why it makes sense, no, because they don't know the process. They just only
Yeah.
heard about that milestone, that success stories. And okay,
Exactly.
this person got success and this area and this particular milestone he achieved. They only aware about that particular, they don't know the process behind this thing, no. So we
It
can't
got it
complain
comes.
on that particular person. So
It,
maybe
it
a normal father, a normal mother can't understand uh, the hectic schedule of a content
magnitude. Yeah.
creator, a person who make movies, how
Mm.
much
Mm.
brainstorming is going through. So they
Correct.
know that okay, if the movie is hit, oh, he is very successful filmmaker. But the
Yeah.
amount of effort he put on behind that particular things to work, no, they won't get it.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to that one single sentence. It is your passion and yours alone. It's your passion, and not everyone cannot understand that. I don't think no one will understand it as much as you do, and it's perfectly what Hajra said. And to make that work, to make people understand that you're working so well, and this is by putting effort, putting a lot of late nights, sleepless nights, putting a lot of work in, overtime work, that people won't see that, but it is that work that
Yeah.
polishes your passion. It is
One
that
thing,
thing,
that's
this
that's so
time that,
true.
yeah, it's the
Like,
thing that
you can't.
exactly.
even
Yeah.
even if you're asking me, this is something that I'm passionate about, talking to people,
Mm.
talking about all of this thing. But
Yeah.
at the same point, it's 12 o'clock in the
Yeah.
night, my partner is
Yeah.
right aside me. So what happens is,
Yeah.
this thing, I'm like looking at the time, that guilt will be there, like how hard you try to balance, that'll
It will
always
be
be
there.
there.
Okay.
Always.
Any ending note, anyone? Because I have some things to say. Because this is thanks to Hajar and thanks to Azhar. I have something to say. Yeah. Any ending notes, anyone?
Uh,
Guys, just make friends from your passion.
and you'll be happy to stay.
You don't
That's
have to
actually good.
sacrifice
Bro.
anything.
That's actually good.
Yeah.
Find,
Find
meet
friends in your passion.
people.
That's
It's
still not
Meet the,
easy.
Hmm.
still not easy, and still not will
it's
be,
it's
Yeah,
as
not
you
it's
said,
easy,
no,
not
bro.
it's
it's not
not
be
a great
work
solution.
a great solution.
But it's
At
good.
the end
It's
of the
good
day,
to
it's
keep.
humans.
It's
Oh,
but
yeah.
what Nitin said is important. Keep people that do understand your passion to a good extent close, because they are necessary.
Keep the
Yeah,
others also.
that's how
Yeah.
I and Alan connect like almost every day. Like we are
Exactly.
almost have same passion, so it's easy
Yeah.
for us to connect. Whatever we do, yeah,
That,
we have to do it together. So kind
it's
of easy.
necessary. And I'll like to say something. I don't have a proper ending note or anything, and something that I think a lot is figuring out what I'm passionate about. I love writing. I love reading. I love speaking. I love all of these things, and I want to be passionate about it. And I think I am passionate about it, but I haven't exactly made it into my passion, specific thing.
Hmm.
So I think many of us are in a race to get label their interests and dreams into passions. And I just hope people are able to achieve it. And if somebody fails in that journey, just understand that there's a lot more in this world other than that. And there's a lot more things that you can try and figure out. And maybe that is something where you find yourself in.
I do
So
believe.
I hope everyone tries to figure out what they're passionate about, and it's okay if something fails. Time is there, you know.
Hmm.
Van Gogh figured out it late. Several painters figured out it late, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to maintain relationships. It's gonna be hard to maintain connections. You'll meet so many people. Sometimes you'll forget so many names, but that's all part
Mm,
of it. The sleepless nights, the sleepless hours, the overtimes. Just try,
okay,
try
Yeah.
best.
that's it.
Okay.
And what?
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
All
it
done.
already.
Okay. All right. So I
I've done
have
a proper ending.
one things to like one just one thing to say, that is like whatever I have just spoken, it was I would say it was from a situation, it was from a place 1 year ago. Okay, not right now, because I've changed a lot. That I've changed because I've constantly worked on my relationships, and that was a constant point, that the constant guilt that I've already had, and it was never about me. It was always about people, because I am, as far as I know, I don't get affected by things much. Okay, it's very easy for me to move on from anything. Okay, like fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know, because okay, if something happened, okay, that's fine, I'll move on.
Fortunately for you, unfortunately
Yeah,
for the
it's
other
very
side.
irritating and it's very disturbing for other people, that I completely understand, because most of the things which is very disturbing, it doesn't disturb me, and people get pissed at that.
Yeah,
Okay, and
they
most of
do.
the time it's again a like relationship breaker as well. Okay, because some things that is affecting them, it might be like very silly for me. Okay, this happened. Okay, fine, I'll just move on, I'll do my thing, and I'm fine. Like I'll be working on things and all that. And again, for the last 2+ years I've been at home. I had the same complaint that okay, I don't call home, or like again when I'm home again, like I'm always in front of the system. I'm coming down only for this and all that. But recently my parents again understood the fact that okay, I'm working not on one thing but on 10 things, or even more than that at once. Okay, and they
Yes.
understand, like it's sometimes like I think like this 15th, like last week, uh I like my the question my mom asked was, okay, you have quit your job because stating that you are not getting enough time to work on your things, and now you haven't had food. And it was I think 11:30 at night, and my mom came like upstairs with food and asked the same question, like, what are you doing? What is this and all that? Then it's like, see, this is something that I'm working on, and I have to be here. So she understood that, and after that she's asking, okay, this videos and all that. Now when I say like I'm creating videos, initially they never used to say anything, but now at least they know. Okay, they are like one of the first critics or like people reviewers who give me things. Okay, every episodes they are completely watching, they just come give me a feedback. And again, coming to the relationships, again, it's very important as you have to tell them or like show them, but it's again not completely okay. Like the earlier Azhar said something, okay, you have to make sure that you whether you are sincere about the efforts you put in, but who decides what is sincerity for the other person? It is that the other person. Even if you put your 100% sincerity in that relationship, other person will not understand that 100% sincerity, because again, the book we read last month, 5 love languages, state that simply beautifully. And again, even beyond that, there are so many things. It's pure, as Alan said again, it's just your passion, your dreams, your wishes. It's not theirs. They don't share that. It's just okay, they kind of tell you, okay, do this, do that and all that, but they don't understand. But now again, as I always believe, there is one reason that I kind of, I think, be selfish or put myself first at this point. That is because again, as far as in the last 25 years of my experience, what I've observed is that as the time goes and as you prove it is not wrong, at that point they come with you. Until then they will not come with you, and only once you have proven that your passion works and that can be something, and you like as Hazara said as well, it's the milestones are achieved, they come with you. And at that note, sometimes I feel okay, it's okay to sacrifice relationships, but again, sometimes the darkest of the days I feel okay, this person would have been there, like I would have spoken to something as well. But I think it's again, you know uh, we can do the effort, from our end, make sure, okay, we are 100% sincere, but again, it's again a question, but how much the other person also have to do that. But the conclusion that I have right now is not that. It is that we might have to do another episode
Yeah.
on passions, like working on passions as well, because we
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have again a lot to speak on as well. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll just retrospect on today's episode, just think about that, and again come back later on again to find out that. So whether anyone need to add on anything, anyone?
I
Nothing.
think we're good.
Be curious, do
Okay.
trial and errors, and
All right.
follow.
So whatever works for you works for you. And again, don't be the first type of follower, be the second type of follower. Be practical about your life, be realistic about that. So don't be blindly following anyone and any advice or any suggestions or anything here. So take your life as a case study, guys. So thank you so
And
much for
I
listening.
wanna say one thing.
Yeah.
Watch Dead Poet Society. It's a nice movie, and I think it's. Yeah, I just want to leave that remark because if people listen to this and like go watch that movie, it's gonna give a beautiful insight.
Yeah,
So Dead
it's a
Poet
beautiful
Society,
movie.
Yeah.
try.
So
So
just one more end point, that is, we might be wrong. I might be wrong. Who like anyone over here might be wrong. So correct us if you think we are wrong, and correct yourself if you think you are wrong as well. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and have a great evening, morning, like noon, whatever it is. It was a pleasure. Just doing this. Take care and see you the next time. Bye bye.